for the rare groups. So we have a list of those rare groups, so we can call them in the need of these rare groups. The other group is available. The most mission in our blood bank is that to make sure all the blood banks, all the blood groups are available in our blood banks.
Okay.
Doctor, what are the rare groups?
Let's say more of the negative with Rh negative, we call it rhesus negative, let's say AB negative, B negative, and the rhesus one is the Bombay group, which actually, let's say one person in 1 million we can find this group. So it has discovered in Bombay, and they call this rare group as Bombay group.
So, doctor, what is the percentage of blood we get every month?
I will give you the statistic in annual things. So last year we have about more than 400,000 donors in overall the kingdom. So you can say about 120 blood donors in a day in one center, like in Riyadh. So we are.
Is this related to what happened in Gaza?
Yeah, actually, as mentioned that as the kingdom is a leader in everything, so we sharing our brothers and sisters in Gaza, and of course we share with them with some blood units and empty blood bags. They are needed when we get a phone call from our colleagues in Gaza and blood banks, and they said they need some supplies in blood banks, and of course we arrange with the ministry to be ship to them this equipment and this disposable they needed. Another thing that the kingdom now is the chair of the Arab Association of Blood Transfusion Services, and the chairperson is the Deputy Minister of Laboratory and Blood Banks, and this is one of the tasks and function of the association to help our brothers in any Arabic countries. Especially now we are facing the problem with our brothers in Gaza, so we are considering this as a crisis facing our brothers and sisters, and from our rights to help them and our and what actually the supplies they needed, especially in blood.
Can we expect any other donations to Gaza?
Yeah, actually, the most important thing we are considering that they have the donors, but of course they need the supplies to be donated. So they don't ask for the units itself, because the time limited for the units to be ready. So they need the supplies and the blood bags and the equipment that needs enable them to do actually donations. So this is what actually has been discussed and communicate with our brothers there in transfusion services, and we already shipped there some equipments and disposable they need.
Arrivals?
Yes, they arrived the blood bags, and now in the way we are planning to send to them some equipments needed for the donation after we get the permission.
Inshallah.
Yes, actually, Saud, the people actually are exhausting all possible efforts to help our brothers in Gaza, actually, and provide them with donations, be it in blood or money. Yes, may Allah ease their misfortune.
Okay. Doctors, what obstacles are you facing with all the tragedy right now, especially in the case of Gaza?
Actually, the obstacles, is the borderlines to be shipped the equipment and actually the disposable they needed for there. So other thing is actually it's easy to facilitate the other obstacles or other things. The main things that we are facing is the problem not to be easy to get these actually supplies to them. So I think there is an effort has been done by our colleague in Red Crescent and the teams there in Egypt, so to be able to transport these supplies to our brothers and sisters in Gaza. And of course I heard that they already succeed, that the blood bank supplies already shipped to other brothers there and they receive it.
Doctor, will the kingdom be always ready to help Gaza with whatever it can help in terms of blood banks?
Yeah, as I mentioned before, always the kingdom ready to help others, not in Gaza, especially in Gaza nowadays. Now, as I told you, when we receive a call, let's say something, when we receive a call from our colleagues in Gaza, they need some supplies for blood bank. Immediately in one day, we have shipped equipment and the supplies to them. So
from the Ministry of Health,
from Ministry in general in Kingdom and from Ministry of Health. The other thing is always we are in direct contact with them. So anything needed, so we can directly communicate with the official channels to be transferred to them, inshallah.
Okay, Dr. Ibrahim, I think in Hajj season you have a special activity. If you could tell us about the activity and the work you conduct in Hajj season.
Yeah, I can say it's rare phenomena in Kingdom that we have the Hajj season. Imagine that you have 3 million people now transferring the same time, the same locations. So what I'm saying is that last year or last Hajj we have about 14,000 units of blood has been sent to Mecca region for the pilgrims themselves. So it's not easy. The preparing of this 14,000 units takes a long and hard work to be, conducted. So it's rare phenomena. Even I'm presenting this phenomena in international conferences. They have said, yes, you have a very rare phenomena that you are able to
units.
Yes, 14,000. So yes, yeah, and don't imagine that we are just transferring 14,000. The time to be collected is taking about, let's say, 3 months to collect. You are considering some obstacles which may face you, the shelf life of the blood and the component. So you have to manage your plan according to the time.
Transporting it.
Yes, of course, it needs special requirements for the transportation.
Of course.
So it's hard work, but alhamdulillah, we are succeeding in that.
Alhamdulillah. With us on the phone right now, we have Muhammad calling us from Riyadh. Muhammad, can you hear us? Muhammad?
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam, Muhammad. We can hear you. Can you hear us?
All of you. I have a very quick question. Is it possible to donate by less than 500 milligrams?
That's your question, Muhammad?
Yeah.
Inshallah, it will be answered. Thank you very much for your phone call. So Muhammad was asking about the possibility of donating less than 500 milligrams.
Yeah, actually 400. We have 4 types of blood bags. Either we actually, when we get the whole blood, we separate it to 4 components, which is actually platelets and plasma and cryoprecipitate and packed RBCs. And the design, it's for 50 ml is anticoagulant and 45%, 450 is the blood. So it's calculated. So we cannot say that we can use, even for the infant we have about 250, but for the adult we are using 450 cc, and 50 cc is the anticoagulant using to preserve the blood itself.
So, but the possibility of donating less than 500 milligrams?
No, we have the bag for the adults
designed
for the 450 milligrams. So cc, and 50 cc is the anticoagulant used to preserve the blood itself.
Sorry, Muhammad, about that. Let's go on the second report about doctor's colleagues and then come back.
My name is Dr. Ali Al-Shinqiti. I'm a director of medical laboratories in Ministry of Health. Today I will give you a brief speak about my colleague, Dr. Ibrahim Al-Umar. I know Ibrahim maybe since 1996, maybe more than 13 years. We were a classmate in our master degree in King Saud University. We had, after that we worked together here at Ministry of Health under the umbrella of General Directorate of Medical Laboratories at Plan. During that time I found Ibrahim is a good friend, good brother, and he's a good director also. We work together to improve the services at Ministry of Health Laboratories and Blood Bank. We achieve good goals to improve our standard, to introduce some techniques in our laboratories to increase our target, to achieve international goals, to accreditation, etc.
السلام عليكم. I am Dr. Abu Bakr Makilajir, consultant parasitologist at Riyadh Central Laboratories and Blood Bank. It happens that I know Dr. Ibrahim العمر since I joined the Riyadh Central Laboratories. As Ibrahim is a big boss, he is a general director of laboratories and blood bank in the kingdom, but I never felt that he deals with me as a boss. He is always a friend and a very nice young brother or son. Ibrahim is a very nice man, and this is personally, and professionally he is a very, very ambitious and hard worker.
My name is Dr. Randa Ratroud, the medical supervisor in biochemistry lab in the central lab and blood bank in Riyadh. Actually, here we are working here in the here as a reference lab in Riyadh. We are having a lot of samples, about 1,000 samples or 900 samples per day. Actually, we have a lot of sophisticated medical equipment, like we have get a lot of medical equipment all by the effort of Dr. Ibrahim العمر. He is the general director of the central blood bank and central lab for the whole kingdom. We have a lot of acknowledgement for Dr. Ibrahim العمر for developing a lot of medical lab workup and medical equipment. We have developed now, we have got a new lab equipment we have now.
Welcome back, dear viewers. That was a report about about Dr. Ibrahim al-Umar's colleagues. Dr. Ibrahim, what do you think of this report?
First of all, I would like to thank you and even thanks my colleagues for actually this kind speech about me, and I hope that can be fit for what they are saying.
Inshallah, Doctor. Doctor, any plans for your department in the future?
Yeah, actually.
The near future and the far future.
Okay, we are talking about the new futures now. Already we have been doing our centralization of transfusion services, and actually the reason behind that is to increase the quality and minimize the cost effective. So the most important thing is the quality. So we are doing our centralization, which is actually more equipment, advanced technology, and also more spaces. The other thing is the accreditation of our blood banks from the international societies, and of course this will give us actually always to be in the first in our diagnostic labs or even in our blood banks.
The first in which zone in the world? Is
Let's
it the
say
Middle East, or is it
no, internationally, to be in the actually matching to the international actor or actually let's say advanced countries in this technology. Recently we have a new, actually very new technology test has been actually introduced or implemented in our blood banks, which is actually NAT testing. We call that for early detection of infectious diseases, either HIV or B or C for the donors, which actually reflect positively to the recipient and to the donors themselves. And of course we have very much support either from the higher authorities in the kingdom or even from the Minister of Health and the Deputy